Come with us where the corn is popped and the throwback Thursdays never stop. It's a magical land not far away. All you have to do is just press play. So hop on the couch and close your eyes. Gonna party like it's 99. Join us, watch the movies of our lives with Blockbuster Wives.
Welcome to Blockbuster Wives, where your two favorite 90s babies talk about movies from the era of a certain blue and yellow video rental store. I'm your host with the most late fees / Valentines, Shea Baby.
And this is Stacy, not always kind, but always rewinds. And you're listening to
Blockbuster Wives. Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Hope y'all are having such a lovely, cute day
I
that
know
we're
we
about to
said-
ruin.
Well, I know we said we weren't going to do like Valentine's Day tropes, and it wasn't our intention.
True.
But in rewatching this film, we realized it's very Valentine's Day-y.
Very, like, quite literally on Valentine's Day.
Which I did not remember.
Me neither. At all. It's just perfect, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Of course it is. We're just...
The universe works in mysterious ways.
Yes.
So even
And so
in the
do we.
midst of Mindfuck February, where we will be blowing your mind, we'll also be on the holiday theme.
And our minds were also fucked unknowingly on our own Mindfuck February because we didn't realize that this movie was very heavily Valentine's Day themed. So we're getting mindfucked.
Synchronicity, baby.
We're mindfucking you. It's a giant mindfuck gangbang.
That's beautiful.
And I think that's beautiful.
That is what a time to be alive.
I was staring at Stacy so hard as I said that.
very
That was very
slowly.
aggressive. You know what? To detract from that, may I make a beautiful sound? There
That
you go.
is the sound of an emotional support rubber chicken.
Yeah, it has a vest and everything, so.
But it doesn't lay eggs, and I mean, with eggs at this price, I mean, come on.
Come on, baby! Give me some eggs! Yeah, it's really more like a rooster, right?
Yeah, it's got a huge gaping mouth. Like,
That's too easy.
the jokes write themselves.
Anyways, so this movie that we're about to go into, I've only seen once before this.
Wow, but you picked this one.
I picked this one because it really did fuck with my mind heavy when I first watched it. And it's also so beautiful, but I know it has, I mean, it has a lot to do with memory and our own minds and our brains and things. So I knew it would be perfect for literal mind fuck February.
So perfect.
And did we say what movie it is?
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, this movie had quite an impression on me as well. I think I've only seen it like twice before, though.
Yeah.
But I was surprised how much I did remember. Didn't remember the Valentine's Day thing.
Me
But
neither.
other points, I was like, oh yeah, this was like seared into my brain because they're so weird, like cool but dark scenes.
Super cool, super weird, very heartbreaking and relatable. And
But that's what's it. I always thought of it as like ultimately a happy movie.
yeah, it
But
is.
then everyone's like, it's the saddest movie ever. And I was like, but it's not, which we can get into the ending in a
Right.
bit. But I could see why, as I read online, some people watch this every year for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
Because it really is a love movie.
It really is. I think it's not like a cliche Valentine's Day movie or like romantic comedy. Like, it's not a romantic comedy. And that's usually what most of us think when we think of like love stories or movies about love. Like, typically they fuse like the comedy and romance together. This one is not that at all.
It's kind of like Titanic, where it's like all
Yes.
romance, and then Titanic's like high tragedy. This isn't high tragedy, but it's a lot of feels.
Right. And very Titanic because Kate Winslet is also starring in it
Bingo.
alongside Jim Carrey.
You know what I realized? This
What?
is our second Kate Winslet movie and our second Jim Carrey movie.
Oh my god. That's
Perfection.
incredible. Wait, what was the first Jim Carrey? Oh, duh,
Yeah,
Grinch.
Grinch.
Duh. We have to have a whole month on him, though, at some point this year.
Yeah, he had such an impact.
He truly did. And I love him so much. And, man, he is such an underrated, serious character actor.
He really is.
Like, holy fuck. Holy fuck. And this movie proves it. And so do so many others. But anyway, do you want to go into corporate bull?
Yeah, let's see some corporate bullshit.
Corporate bullshit.
Some bullshit.
So Eternal Sunshine was released March 19th, 2004, post 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
It's 108 minutes. which
Not bad, a little long,
but you know.
but not 2 hours.
No, it's exactly. I think it almost hits that mark, but not quite, so it's cool. It was directed by Michel Gondry, which I have so many notes about him. I didn't know anything about him, but I was like, he must be really fucking great. Let me like look a little bit more into him. So he's a French filmmaker who also directed Be Kind, Rewind.
Oh my gosh, really?
And The Green Hornet.
Okay.
He's also, weirdly, fun fact, directed music videos for Daft Punk, Foo Fighters, Radiohead, Bjork, Beck, Chemical Brothers, Kylie Minogue, and the White Stripes.
I did not know this fact about Be Kind, Rewind, because that's kind of a trippy movie in its own way.
I've never seen it.
Really? It's got Jack Black.
I know.
In Mos Def, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
It's one of Jack Black's, one of the only ones I haven't seen of his.
It's super cute. You'll fall in love with it immediately.
Oh,
If we do Jack Black month.
I just love him. Yeah,
Put
Jack.
in the queue.
God, you're so right. Also, this is a crazy fact about him that I was so excited to bring up.
Oh.
He created the bullet time technique in a Smirnoff commercial, which was later used in The Matrix.
Okay, what is it?
It's like the thing, you know, the moment where like in The Matrix, it shows like the bullet up close and then it does like the whole like whoosh and then I don't know. That
he
whole,
like invented it?
He invented it for a Smirnoff commercial.
I wish I could see this Smirnoff
Fucking crazy. I know. I
wonder if it is online.
I'm sure we could look it up. I bet we could.
I'm so intrigued.
Yeah, so he's fucking cool. Also,
Bad ace.
Kate Winslet in this movie was nominated for Best Actress at the Academy Awards and didn't win. However,
do you know who she lost to?
I don't. I didn't look it up. But Michel Gondry, you could look it up while
2004?
Yep. But Michel Gondry did win an Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay that year.
Charlize Theron got it for Monster.
Okay,
Which
yeah.
does make sense.
Yeah, which is another movie that I want to cover because I've never seen it, but it's another Christina Ricci as well.
Yeah, and based on a very interesting true story.
Eileen Wuornos.
Mm-hmm.
Rough.
Yeah, controversial.
Very controversial, but that would be a really good one for us to cover. But anyway, so obviously like amazing. And
by the way, this is the year that Peter Jackson got an award for being director of Lord of the Rings: Return of the King.
Fuck
the
yeah.
Oscar, baby.
I still need to watch the second one and the third one.
Mm-hmm. You do.
Anyway.
Well, we're gonna have to do a Lord of the Rings moment.
Oh yeah, we gotta. That's on because I have so many questions, and Stacy's the person to ask.
Answers.
Just saying, and I got the answers, baby. So Rotten Tomatoes rated this a 92%, and the audience score was a 94.
92% critic?
Mm-hmm.
Whoa, is that the highest we've seen?
I think so. Usually they're like in the 80s, right?
Yeah, that's really high. I feel like in the 90s for critics is rare.
And audience score was 94.
Wow.
Which is pretty crazy. And Roger Ebert, I have a lot to... This is going to be a long segment because everything he wrote about it was beautiful, and I want to, like, read what he wrote.
He is good.
He rated it 4 stars.
That's his highest rating, people.
So...
He doesn't do 5 stars.
No.
4
4
is the
stars.
top.
And we have not seen that much. Did we... Have we ever
he
seen it?
Shrek 4 stars, didn't he?
Yeah, so I think Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind and this movie he gave 4 stars. But he wrote really beautiful things. I'm going to read a couple excerpts that he wrote. So the first one says, and I can relate to this because I work in a senior living facility. And he wrote about that. He said, visiting an old people's home, I walked down a corridor on the floor given over to advanced Alzheimer's patients. Some seemed anxious, some were angry, some simply sat there, knowing nothing of what was happening in their minds. I wondered if the anxious and angry ones had some notion of who they were and that something was wrong. I was reminded of the passive ones while watching Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind. Wiped free of memory, they exist always in the moment, which they accept because it is everything.
Did he explain why he was in Alzheimer's ward?
No. He just started with that,
Wow.
and then
Well, it's probably somebody he loved.
probably like a
wasn't it?
family member. Yeah, I imagine. And I also work in a memory care facility as well. So
Yeah,
All
Shay's
the-
no longer a housekeeper.
no, I am not. My gig is fucking sick. And then he wrote, the wisdom in Eternal Sunshine is how it illuminates the way memory interacts with love. We more readily recall pleasure than pain. From hospital I remember laughing nurses and not sleepless nights. A drunk remembers the good times better than the hangovers. A failed political candidate remembers the applause. An unsuccessful romantic lover remembers the time when it worked. What Joel and Clementine cling to are those perfect moments when lives seemed blessed by heaven and sunshine will fall upon it forever. I hope these are the moments some of those patients are frozen in. They'll seem at peace.
Aww.
And I was like, Ebert, you're so cute right now.
Yeah, way to link it to like people who are like having severe real life memory problems.
Yeah.
Through no choice of their own.
Exactly. So
yeah,
I
just to recap the plot a smidge for people who don't know.
Yes.
The basic plot is that Jim Carrey, who plays Joel, finds out his ex-girlfriend, Kate Winslet, who is playing Clementine, has erased him from her memories.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's obviously very upset because they just got out of a tumultuous relationship.
Right.
He's like, fine, fuck this bitch, I'm gonna do it too.
Yeah.
So he goes to have his memories erased, and he realizes in the middle of it that he doesn't actually want to do this, and it's very sweet, and he's like trying to figure out a way to stop it, and it's like, oh.
And what's really cool is they put it in a way so that like he's even though he's like asleep, right, as they're like erasing these memories for him, he's experiencing his memories again as if it were like the first, like as if he were experiencing them in real life,
or like a dream, which I think that is an underrated aspect of this movie, is like how perfectly it captures dreams.
Yeah, like
and
the
how
blurry
real it can
faces.
seem, but you can't read things. Like font gets all weird, and like people change, and you don't recognize people. And 1 minute you're in one place, and the next minute you're somewhere else.
Right. Like there was a scene specifically that is so cool where it's like, I think it's the first memory that they're erasing because it was the last time he saw her, and it was like a big fight that they had.
Yes, they're working backwards.
Yeah, so it's like the most recent experience they had moving backwards, and it's so cool because the way that they filmed it was like he's like driving in his car, he's trying to like catch her and be like, wait, come back, we need to talk or whatever. And so he keeps like getting out of his car, and then he's like running towards her, and then she disappears, and she's all of a sudden behind him, and then he like looks behind, and the car is behind him instead of in front of him, and it like keeps happening, which is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a 1 minute situation, but you see the car and Clementine in like 5 or 6 different positions. Like it's just so sick.
And there's a lot of scenes like that. Like there's like also a scene where they're fighting and they're in the apartment, and she keeps like leaving and coming in and leaving and coming in. And I was reading online that they built the set with a bunch of secret doors so that they could just like continuously wander around. And that's a fun fact about this movie. Very little CGI was used. It was like all on film editing, or like perspective shifts, or like cool practical effects, which is why I think it still looks so good. Because when you look at some things from 2004, which at this point is nearly 20 years ago, some of it looks like complete garbaggio.
Complete dog shit.
Mummy 2.
Yeah.
Scorpion King.
Yikes.
Heinous.
Yeah, it's not
good. But this movie looks beautiful.
It really does. It's like Stacy said, it really captures memories and dreams like so well that it almost is like, I don't know. I feel like maybe I could just speak for myself, but like when I have dreams and I'm trying to explain them to people, in the back of my mind I'm like, they don't get it. But they do. Like you guys do. You've all experienced it too. So it's, I don't know. It feels like such a singular experience, but
yeah, and just the way like our senses work. Like to me, it always trips me out that I can in my head imagine a taste or a sound, and it's like it's almost there, and you like get the essence of it, but you're not actually tasting it or hearing it. And it's a weird that our brain can create these kind of like shadows of things. Almost to an extent where they're real. Yeah. But most people, you realize like it's not real. But when you're dreaming, sometimes you really don't. Yeah. And it's like you really think you're there. And it's like your brain can be tricked into things very easily.
Well, that's like why sometimes when you wake up from a dream, you're like screaming. You're already screaming, or like you feel like sometimes I wake up from dreams and I like am mad at the person that like fucked me over in the dream, even though they didn't do shit to, you still feel those, they're in your brain, like those emotions are there, and you're like, why am I mad at you? This didn't really happen, but it's like it felt so real, and it felt real to your brain, and that's why it is real.
Yeah, or the opposite, where you're like, I've had dreams where I hang out with somebody all night, it's like super fun, and then I wake up and I'm like, wow, I feel closer to that person, and then I have to be like, they are not having that experience. Like we didn't hang out.
We're on 2 different planes. Exactly. I'm over here, they're over there. Yeah, I've definitely been there. I don't know. It's just it's so interesting, but I love the way that they filmed it. It was so. That's why I was like, I need to look up this director, because I just knew he was going to be someone really cool.
Me too. I was trying to find like oral histories or like accounts of the movie being made, and I couldn't find like a definitive source, but I did find like a couple lists of like fun facts about Eternal Sunshine.
Ooh.
I wonder if you came across any of these.
Like fun facts?
Yeah, well, just about like on the set.
Ooh.
So apparently the director would not call action.
Oh.
He would just be like, all right, let's go. Because he wanted them to be like kind of caught off guard.
Oh.
But it drove Kate Winslet in particular crazy because she has a British accent. And so she's like she never knew if she's supposed to be speaking in her like American accent or a British accent, and everyone get like really frustrated.
That's so annoying.
And you know what? I'm starting to think that our boy Jim Carrey was just hard to work with.
I've heard that.
Because remember all the shit we heard about The Grinch?
Yeah.
Similar shit for this, like very cranky. Like the director did not want him to improvise because he's like, you are not supposed to be funny.
Mm-hmm.
You are very quiet. Like you need to be chill. And Jim Carrey would be like, how come everyone else is allowed to improvise and I'm not? And he's like, I'm sorry, you can't. Just dip this script. And Jim Carrey's like getting pissed about it.
It's like, this isn't Ace Ventura 7, bro.
And apparently they almost came to blows over the sink scene because Kate Winslet was like in the water for so long that she was getting nauseous. I was like, Kate, why are you always in the water?
It's dead ass. And for way too long, girl.
But it was like hours and hours, and Jim Carrey's like, this is ridiculous, and like got in his face.
Damn.
Yeah.
We have heard a lot about him being hard to work with.
He's not chill. Well, this was probably also during his drug period.
Right. What do you know what drugs he was doing?
I don't know if he's ever like talked about what drugs he was doing. I bet it was like a bunch of pills.
Probably. That's sad.
Yeah.
You know, for this movie, I really didn't write a lot of notes because I knew that there would be so much to just like discuss that I was like, you know what? I just want to experience the whole movie and then we'll just talk about it because if you know anything about me and my wife over here, we can talk about anything for 20 years, which is how long we've been best friends for.
I did remember the central like structure. So like when I was watching the opening scene, I did remember that like, okay, this is like happening now.
Right.
And then you go back in time. But I obviously didn't realize that the first time. I remember the first time seeing me like, wait, what?
Right.
And then
you don't
like,
realize.
Whoa, mind blown. Like this is their second time meeting. Oh my God.
Yeah, because if you haven't seen it, which like duh, spoilers, but like the first scene is of him waking up and being like, something feels off. You know what? I'm gonna go to work. And then like instead of going on the
he's
train,
wearing like weird pajamas and he's like looking at his pajamas like, what?
Yeah, he just seems really like disoriented.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's like on his way to work, and instead of hopping on the train to work, out of nowhere, he's like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to Montauk. I just feel like taking a day off. So he calls out of work.
New York?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's like northern New York. I think. Anyway. So yeah, he goes to Montauk and he's just like on a beach and he sees this woman from a distance, and then they just spark a conversation on the bus, and like they hang out for one day and it seems really chill. And then it skips to like later on.
It's such a good transition because she's like, I'm gonna go get my toothbrush, and he's like, whoa, and you're like, whoa, this is moving really quickly.
Yeah.
And then it just cuts to him sobbing in his car, and that's actually when the credits start, and you're like, oh, it's such a good beginning.
It's so good because you already know what happened, but you know nothing about what happened. You know, like you know he's fucking heartbroken. You know it's about her, but you don't know why. Like it's
you
so
don't realize
brilliant.
that you're seeing, you know, like heartbreak number one.
It's so brilliant. And I think like I'm not gonna speak for anyone else, but I know when I watched this movie, I can't remember how old I was, but I think we've all been there where like we're so heartbroken that we're like, it would just be easier to just and like fucking erase everything and just start anew. Like that would be fucking sick.
You just get sick of thinking of the person, but like it's also you can't think of anything else.
Right. And actually it reminds me of a quote. I wrote it down because it's from Call Me By Your Name, which I also think we should cover. Let me grab the quote.
Is that in our
quick.
time period?
2010. It's
Is
like right
it?
at the cutoff. Yeah.
Really?
I think so. Wait.
No, I don't think so. I don't think this movie's 13 years old.
No, you're right. What am I thinking? I think it's only 5 years old.
Yes, that's
Wait, what movie was I thinking of? Never mind. Well, I'm going to bring up the quote anyway.
Okay.
Or maybe we could also make an exception because I love that fucking movie and it's a great like
it's
queer
2017
film. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck I'm thinking.
I was like, wait.
As soon as you were like, wait, I was like, wait a minute, you're right. It's only 5 years fucking
it's
old.
like when we're gonna do Ferris Bueller and you're like, dude, that movie's in the 80s, and I was like, I'm so 80s. How do we not realize
That fucking sucked. Okay, so the quote is, right now, there's sorrow, pain. Don't kill it, and with it, the joy you felt. And it relates so heavily to this because basically they're just trying to kill the pain. They just want it to be gone because they feel like shit. And they're like, I just want it to be gone so then I can feel happy. But it's like,
move on.
If you're killing the pain, you're also killing, like, and the memory is specifically attached to the pain. You're also killing your joy. And
yeah, and it really is, like, it's such a cliche, but it is better to have loved and lost than to have never loved at all.
Exactly.
And it's one of those things where it's like, if you have no memory of it, like, it essentially never happened.
Right, which means, like, you're questioning other things, like, am I capable of love? Are people capable of loving me? You know, just so many more things arise instead.
And it's like they did have a beautiful relationship in some ways, but then you really see it start to fall apart, I think, due to, like, kind of extended metaphors about, I think for her, like, substance abuse.
Yeah.
Because it's heavily hinted throughout the movie that she's an alcoholic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when it's in the very beginning and they're meeting for what you later find out is the second time. Like, she's pouring liquor into her coffee.
And she takes, like, a pill at some point.
And then in the flashback, she's, like, drinking a lot, and that causes some of their fights. And
yeah.
so I think that's kind of, like, the main thing for her. And then for him, I think he's really supposed to be, like, portraying just severe depression.
Yes.
Like, he doesn't really have a lot of emotions.
Yeah, there's a lot of apathy.
Yeah, and she doesn't get that because she's like, I have so many emotions all the time. Like, how do you not have anything? And he's just like, I just don't. Because he's, like, totally flat.
Yeah.
And it's like, he can't really help that.
And even, like, because throughout the whole movie, he's writing in this journal. So he's kind of, like, narrating, like, the whole beginning and maybe the end as well. Is it the end? I don't know. The beginning for sure. You just, like, hear a lot of his thoughts, and he's, like, writing in this journal and drawing, like, diagrams and little, like, cartoons and stuff. And he's, like, saying, like, I really have nothing to offer. Like, I'm just boring, basically.
Yeah, my life is, like, pretty dull.
Yeah, and, like, she brightens up his life. But I think it's their own expectations of each other. Like, they both wanted something out of the other person that didn't exist. And they were hoping that they would fulfill them and, like, make them whole. Which we all know is a problem.
Yeah, and maybe not working on their own respective problems, but just trying to, like, find it in the other person.
Totally.
Which is never gonna work.
Yeah, like, I'm trying to think of a specific example of that. But, like, it's sad because I don't want to skip too far ahead because I was going to
do it.
Well,
say what's on your mind.
The tapes at the end. So essentially what happens is that both of them are like, I want to fucking erase these memories. And so they do that. They go to the company, whatever it's called, and they get their memories.
Lacuna.
Oh, Lacuna. And they get their memories erased. At the end, they both receive the tapes that they recorded talking about the person whose memories they wanted to delete from their own brain. So they're, like, they're each playing their tape. Joel hears Clementine's tape about him, vice versa. And, like, you hear them talking, like, so much shit about each other because they're angry and they're, like, resentful. And they're both like, I wouldn't say this about you. I would never think this about you. But it's like,
and they're like, but they both know they did.
Yeah.
Like, they had this full relationship and this is where they left off. So they're like, yikes.
Yeah. And it's just interesting that it highlights, like, I don't know. It's just really, it's so interesting. I really related to the movie so much.
Well, I think the movie, and this is, I mean, I think the highest purpose of art is it really makes you feel that sadness and the loss and like the hope, but then it being, like, dashed away, and
like desperation.
It makes you really, really feel it. And I think through the amazing cinematography and the amazing acting, and Kate Winslet is just incredible. Jim Carrey's amazing. I also love that he added, like, a little lisp to his character. Like, he speaks in a very specific way that I'm like, this is good.
It's so good. It really, like, it's a really quirky part of, like, that specific character's personality.
And I really like that they made Kate Winslet look like a normal person.
Yeah.
Like, her roots are grown out. Like, she's wearing, like, big clothes. She's not wearing, like, a ton of makeup. Like, sometimes she's dressed up and sometimes she's not.
Yeah.
Like, she looks like a real woman.
Yes.
And then Joel's just kind of, like, playing with his little emo hair in his eyes.
I love his emo hair.
I love the hair in his eyes. Oh,
emo hair.
Tousle it.
I know. I really love also the parts where he's a little kid.
Yeah.
Because what they're trying to do basically is he's realizing, like, holy shit, my memories of you are being erased. Okay, so what they're probably doing is they're going into the memories that you're in for sure, but what we need to do is we need to put you in memories that you would not normally be in, that you don't exist in, because it'll confuse them, it'll throw them off track. So let's
and it
go
does work. So the technicians on the other side keep saying like, oh, he's gone off the map, and that's what they mean, like he's off the memory map, he's in some other memory that we don't even know about.
Yeah. And it's really cool because they touch on like shame, which I think is really interesting.
Oh, that was such a good scene. There's a couple shame scenes, but I think probably the one we're both thinking of is when he's like a kid with another group of kids, and they all want him to like hit this pigeon with a hammer.
Yeah. And he's literally like 5 or something.
Yeah, and they're like, do it, and he doesn't want to do it. And then he caves to peer pressure and does it, and you can tell he just feels so ashamed of himself.
Yeah, and he's like crying, and then Kate Winslet, who's like, you know, she's a character in this scenario, she like pulls him away and she's like, it's okay, and he's just like, I'm so ashamed, I shouldn't have done it. And she said, you were a little kid, like you didn't know any better. And I love that, because that's what we all need to tell to ourselves about our shameful moments in life, is like we need to be more gentle and really coddle our inner child, and that's exactly what's being portrayed in those scenes, which is so cool.
Yeah, and there is like kind of a big theme of childhood in this movie too, which you wouldn't necessarily expect from a breakup movie. Right. But like there's another scene where Kate Winslet is like talking about when she was a kid and she thought she was ugly. Yes. And she's talking about like how lonely it is to be a kid, because you just feel like no one cares about you. Yes. And that shit's so real.
I can't believe I'm glad that you're bringing it up, because it rung in my head all night, that part where she was just exactly what you said, how she said, and no one realizes how lonely you are as a kid, like you feel so alone. And I was just like, that is so true. Mm-hmm. Like I never thought about it like that, which is, it's such a simple concept, but like, you know, I grew up in a big family. You'd think that I wouldn't feel alone, but I felt so alone like all the time.
And I do wonder if that's a modern thing. Like, I wonder if childhood always felt lonely, or if it's more of like, just like a modern problem, because I just feel like we treat children like subhumans a lot, or like little robots, or like creatures to obey us. And it's like they're not allowed to have original thoughts. They're not allowed to be misbehaving. They really have to like go with the dominant mainstream society, or else they like get in trouble. And you can hit kids, you can imprison them, you can do all kinds of horrible shit that adults simply would not put up with.
Quite literally.
It's like if we treated each other like we treat kids, like there
would be riots.
Yeah,
fucking everyone would be.
And when people do try to do it like in the workplace, yeah, you're
people,
like, who the fuck are you?
Exactly. Like that's something I can't stand, is when people are treating kids like so mean. And I'm like, dude, they're a fucking child, mashed potato brains. They have no idea they have no concept of what you're fucking talking about.
And it's like, yeah, they're egomaniacs, because of course they are.
Yeah, why the
they
fuck
just
wouldn't
got
they
here? They don't know.
Yeah, they're just like, I gotta worry about myself and what I like. Like, why the fuck would they be caring about other people? Like, it's so wild. I don't get it. But those scenes are really cool.
But I wonder if, like, in our hunter-gatherer days, if that wasn't as true. I don't know. It's hard because we don't like have records of kids from that time, so we'll like never know unless we had a time machine.
I mean, they probably felt lonely.
Yeah, and that's the thing, is it just like the human condition?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. I do wonder if like we were in closer knit communities where there wasn't this like grind and rat race.
You know what? Maybe not in caveman days, because I think a lot of like loneliness comes from shame.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like shame and expectations.
Yeah.
Make people feel really alone. And I just feel like that's more of a modern thing. I really do think.
You know what? You're right. Because I think a lot of shame, as we know, and we've talked about many times, comes from like religion and like expectation, you know, from like rules and regulations of religion and like what God would think and blah, blah, blah. But back in the day, in caveman era, they weren't thinking about that shit.
I don't think so.
They were probably just like, let's do whatever the fuck we want all the time.
I think a lot more free time by all accounts.
Yeah.
They're probably kicking with their kids a lot more.
Valid fucking point.
I wonder.
You're right.
But we'll never know.
You're right. We will never know.
Just gotta work on that time machine. Hashtag Donnie Darko throwback.
If you didn't listen to that episode, get fucking to it. It's the last one. I think it is. It is, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay, cool. But yeah, no, I love those scenes really depicting shame. I feel like there's not a lot of movies that I've seen that depict shame like that. And you know, as an ex-Catholic person, that shit was very like fulfilling to me to watch, because just like the way that she said, like, you were just a little kid, you didn't know any better, and it's like, yeah, bitch, I was a little fucking kid and I didn't fucking know any better, so fuck you. It was dope. It felt nice.
Yeah. It like connects, because I think we all feel like that.
Right.
I have in my notes, this scene on the ice might be the most used image on Tumblr.
Yeah. Oh. Okay.
And it made me think the hold that this movie had on Tumblr.
This movie and 500 Days of Summer.
Oh, yeah.
Had the world's fucking gonads in a chokehold of life.
It was like, if you didn't post an image from one of those movies on Tumblr, like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, who the fuck are you? Or Donnie Darko, which we've already covered.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All over.
Wild. Yeah. Which, you know what? Now that I think about it, this movie and 500 Days of Summer have a couple things in common, because that movie also goes out of order. Like, you start with, like, what do they start with, like, modern day, and then they work backwards and go forward and go back. That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. Anyways.
Then I have a note about Manic Pixie Dream Girls, and
Oh,
whether
I'm so
Clementine
glad.
is one or not.
I'm so glad you're bringing this up.
So for those who might be unfamiliar with the trope of a Manic Pixie Dream Girl,
Yeah, let's go into it.
it's coined by some film reviewer whose name I did not write down. Sorry. And he coined this type of character in movies to be a woman whose only role in the film is to develop in the male lead an appreciation for life through her quirky and unconventional ways. And so on one hand, I do think you could see Clementine as that, because she just comes in and she's like, I'm weird and fun, and like, wouldn't you like to live this life? And he literally is like, wow, yeah, you're inspiring me to like not be boring, essentially.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I really do feel like the movie is more about her, even though he's the first character you're introduced to and it's kind of told through his perspective. I do think you kind of learn an equal amount about her inner life.
Yeah, you do.
And like her emotions and what she's going through.
Yeah, you don't see like her memories necessarily, but you do see there's a lot of vulnerability, like a lot from both of them. And I think she's just inherently like a very vulnerable person. So there's not a lot of like, yeah, you like see her perspective a lot, because she says exactly what she's thinking.
Yeah, she's not just like always like, wee, like what am I gonna do next?
Like, let's cartwheel and then like write with chocolate. It's Nathan Rabin, by the way.
Okay, yeah.
That was the film critic that came up with the concept, but it's so true, and we see it in a lot of movies from our era, but even before, like Breakfast at Tiffany's. Holly Golightly.
Yeah,
she's like the original.
Exactly, where she's like, I'm wild,
and then she's like, I just wake up in bed at 4 p.m. and then blah. It's just like,
it's like, okay, rich bitch,
cool.
Yeah. Get a job,
fucking
lady.
get a job, lady. Oh no, I just blew out the mic basically. No, but for real, like, I don't know, we can name like 1,000 examples. Literally 500 Days of Summer.
Yeah,
That's
but
a
even
perfect
Clementine in the movie is like, all these dudes think that I can like fix all their fucking problems, but I've got my own problems.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh.
I love that part too, because, you know, it does like turn the Manic Pixie Dream Girl thing on its head, where it's like, it's kind of like, it's not meta, but it kind of is, because she's literally saying like, you think that I could just be like someone to fucking blah, 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 blah. Like, I have my own fucking problems, bitch. So,
Yeah, who's gonna help me?
Yeah, like, I'm a real fucking person.
Like, I'm giving you all this. What do I get in return?
Yeah, which, you know, that kind of goes against the Manic Pixie, I don't know, like theme. Like usually that's not the case, but pretty interesting. Interesting.
I even wrote fast intimacy, love or trauma.
Period.
That's kind of like what Jim Carrey says, and that's like a big rift in their relationship, because like they have sex so quickly that he starts, I think, to be suspicious that like, oh my god, does she just like have sex with everyone this quickly?
Right.
And she keeps saying like, no I don't, but then it's like, oh, does she? I don't know. We don't really get to see that part.
You never know. And that's the other thing too, is like, you see her immediately jump to a relationship with that Patrick guy.
Oh my god, Frodo. Fucking Frodo Baggins, Elijah Wood. So my mind was blown, because I completely forgot he was in this movie.
He was in both. He would have been in both at the same time.
Yeah,
because you said
well, Return of the King came out that year. I bet this movie had a much shorter film schedule, and Return of the King might have been like filmed already.
True.
But very, very close in time.
But so, yeah, pretty crazy.
Because I remember the Kirsten Dunst subplot, which we could talk about. I did remember that.
I didn't remember that at all.
Oh, really? But I
forgot.
completely had Spotless Sunshine, Elijah Woods out of this. And I was like, wait a second. I completely forgot that he steals Clementine's panties while he's erasing her memories.
Dude, he's such a
steals her
fucking
shit,
twat.
and then uses it against her to like seduct her.
Literally manipulate
Like,
the fuck.
What?
Go off, king. Be so manipulative and disgusting.
Except like go off, king, to prison.
Yeah, fuck. Honestly, jail. It's so crazy. It's so fucked. And you know what? People would fucking do that.
I know, that's why I was like, I don't
gross.
remember this at all. Like, this is so fucked up. And she's like part of her, and that's another interesting thing. This movie posits that like even if you do go through this erasal period, there is something in you that knows something.
And you know what? I agree with that because, well, I don't know, but like deja vu, dude, like that's a weird thing that we all experience. That's like, how do we explain that? Our brains are just like, you've been here exactly before. We know exactly what's gonna happen, and it's like,
It's in your bones.
how the fuck would we know? But it's just something. It's like our what am I trying to say? I don't know what this hand movement is. I wish you guys could see what I'm doing. I look like a gingerbread. Our like our instincts, our like natural instinct. Okay. Someone keeps calling me. Sorry, y'all.
Like the hindbrain or something. It just knows. And so she knows. She's like something in her is like, I've heard that before, but it wasn't from fucking you.
Yeah.
And now I'm like, yeah! And she's like freaking out.
Yeah.
And he's like, what's wrong, Tangerine? Calling her the nickname that Joel called her.
So fucked. Also, I wrote a song called Tangerine, and I did not remember the tangerine part at all. So look it up. Anyways, so gross. He can go fuck himself, fucking Patrick.
So that was the one subplot that I didn't remember. I did remember the Kirsten Dunst one where it's like you find out that this doctor who has pioneered this method fully had an affair with his receptionist, then erased her memories of it. I mean, she like quote unquote agrees to it, but she's like a fucking like much younger than him.
She's absolutely pressured into it. Let's be real.
But then like once again, she's falling in love with him again because like you could erase the memories, but there was something before that, some kind of attraction.
Right.
So yeah, so she starts falling in love with him again, and then his wife is like, what the fuck, again? And then she finds out her memory's been erased, and that's ultimately what causes her to go like, total disgruntled employee, and she sends every single client their tape.
Which is kind of sick.
Fucking
TBH.
badass move!
It's like fucking sick. Because
yeah, she's like, this is a bad idea. This is unethical.
Yeah, and she's probably thinking like, I don't know if these people like agreed fully to this, or if they felt pressure to do it, or whatever the fuck. It's not a good idea. This shit sucks.
And because there's no way to cancel it, I think the only way it could be ethical is if they like built in some way to like abort in the middle of it, but they don't. Like, you're fully asleep, and when they can tell that Joel is like doing something to evade them, and they're still just like, oh well, gonna track him down anyway and finish. And I'm like, yo,
yeah, like legalize all abortions, okay? Right. Including the abort mission on the fucking memory shit.
But also made me think of Harry Potter. And how there's memory erasing charms left and right, and the ethics of which are never interrogated.
You're right.
And I'm like, that's kind of fucked up.
You're so right.
They just are like, haha, obliviate, like left and right, and it's like, whoa, these are people's memories.
Is obliviate one of the
It's not one of the forbidden ones. It is not.
You're
It is
right.
not an unforgivable curse.
It should be an unforgivable.
It should be.
It should be the fourth.
It's horrible.
That's fucked. And
especially on Muggles, like at the fucking Triwizard Tournament, they just talk about obliviating this guy's memory all day, and it's like, okay, he didn't even agree to that. At least the people who are patients of this doctor initially agreed to it.
Right.
A
For
lot
whatever
of the people
reason
in the Harry
that
Potter world, they're not agreeing to shit.
You are so right. No consent. Consent is very important in this house.
Yeah.
You guys.
Okay.
Get it the fuck together.
I'm talking to you.
Well, you
think I'm
looking
not
at
talking
you?
about
We're talking to you.
Don't look around. You.
Don't look at me. Don't look around. Look into my fucking eyes. We're telling you.
Yo.
One other thing I noticed about this movie, it's rated R as well. And it got me thinking, do you have to be rated R to be a mindfuck?
Ooh.
Are there any mindfucks that are not rated R?
That's a great quest. I'm going to think for a second if I've ever been super confused by a movie that was like, is Memento?
I bet that's rated R.
I bet it is too. Fuck.
That's what I mean. Like, all the classic mindfucks are rated R.
That's interesting.
And it's like, they don't necessarily have to be.
Eternal Sunshine does not have to be.
No, I didn't think so either.
There were no actual sex scenes, right? There
No,
wasn't really
there's
nudity.
no penetration.
There was no real nudity.
No.
Like,
They
it
said
didn't even
fuck a
show
lot.
tits, I don't
They
think.
probably said fuck one too many times.
Yeah,
Which is
probably.
stupid that's like something that could be like R-rated.
That is so fucking dumb.
I bet that's what it is.
We'd be R-rated.
Oh, yeah.
We are R-rated, baby. Yeah. Yeah, That's a great question. I'm still trying to wrap my mind around something that like deeply confused me, but wasn't rated R. And I don't think there is anything.
Mm-mm. I remember reading the books, his Dark Materials, the Philip Pullman books, like The Golden Compass, and being like, my mind is blown.
Like, what is
But that's what I don't know that I've seen a movie
right
for children or young adults that I was like, whoa.
Me neither. I genuinely can't think of anything.
I guess maybe the third Harry Potter. I know I'm talking about Harry Potter a lot.
Yes, and that also has to do with time travel.
Yeah, I think for people who hadn't read the book, I think the movie was like, wait, what?
And that's my favorite book and my
It's
favorite movie out of the series.
It's so good.
Prisoners of Azkaban.
Mm-hmm.
Not prisoners, prisoner. But I feel like I've said it a lot in this movie. In this episode for no reason.
Don't die yourself.
Why am I saying duh?
Duh.
What the
doy.
fuck? And I'm like,
That's
a
my favorite.
doy. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me?
I
Anyway.
love saying a doy. Mostly about myself. I did write, God, Mark Ruffalo is so hot.
Okay, thank you for
Get
bringing this up.
out of here,
I
Mark.
have so much to say. I think he is one of the hottest fucking celebrities of all time.
He really is, and I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's like his weird little soft voice or like his thick ass head of hair. I don't know what it is, but he is fine.
I think it's a combo platter. I think also, like, I'm not going to speak for you, but I'm going to say for myself, his character in 13 Going on 30 was like my introduction to like a man. You know what I mean? Like, how old would we have been when it came out? Which we also have to do.
Yeah,
Have to do 13
we
Going
probably were like 15. Let me see.
Yeah, I feel like we were younger.
Really?
Maybe not. Yeah.
Hmm.
But either way, it's like.
Oh,
he-
damn, we were 13.
Oh my god.
That's wild. We
That's
were
really
that
cute.
age.
That's really cute. Yeah, I just remember being like, oh, like he might have been like, besides Chris Farley, because that's like a totally different like actual scenario. But I think it was the first time I was watching like romantic comedies where I was like, oh, this is a man and I'm attracted to him. Like, I think it is his like sweet, deep voice. I think it has something to do with the way he talks, like kind of at the
He has
side
a
of his,
very
like,
unique way of talking.
yeah, it's like kind of a lisp, but his lower lip kind of like drags
It's
a
like the
little
Drew
bit.
Barrymore effect.
It's the male Drew Barrymore effect.
It all makes so much sense.
Haha! And I'm also very attracted to her. So there you go. Bingo bongo.
Bingo bongo.
Yeah, no, he's so hot. And and with the glasses in this fucking movie? Get the fuck out of
And
it.
then like when he's in his little boxers, I was like,
Yeah, dancing?
Ah!
Yes.
Yes.
And Kirsten Dunst,
Her,
so
like,
good.
Little panties. I was like, she's so tiny.
She's so tiny and she's so cute in
She's like
everything.
a little elf.
Yes,
Like,
she is.
truly.
She's so believable in everything, and she's so good. Spider-Man, come on.
And she just has like one of those faces and affects where you're like, I just like her. Like you're son, I'm like, I like this girl. Yeah, there's some weird sirens going on.
Oh, I was like,
It does kind of sound like a hound dog.
it reminds me of, have you ever seen the part of Night at the Roxbury where he's like, pew, pew,
Yeah,
pew.
yeah.
I'm like, is
It does
someone
kinda sound
watching
like
Night at the fucking Roxbury? It sounds exactly like that. Okay, sorry.
I also wrote Eternal Sunshine Walked so Inception could run.
Oh, yeah.
You're welcome, The Academy.
Holy shit. Yeah, just the way they were both like filmed, like very
Yeah, like exploring the dream realm.
yeah, and kind of like liquid into each other. Like each scene is like very easily formed into the next.
Yeah,
and
like what is real? What is a real memory? What is like a manufactured memory?
Yeah.
Like, what parts are accurate? What parts are not? We don't know.
Yeah, because I was kind of thinking like, I don't know. Well, as I was watching it, I was like, could she be a figment of his imagination in general?
It's funny you said that because Brent thought that this movie was the most depressing movie ever because he thought for some reason that she wasn't real
Right.
and that he was imagining all this. And I was like, that would be really sad. But
Yeah.
no.
Yeah, and towards the end, I was like, okay, well, that couldn't happen because like Patrick obviously was with her and blah, 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 blah. But yeah, at first I was like, what the fuck? Is she not real? And that was really sad. I mean, I think it is really sad. It's a sad concept of like a relationship ending and then you like longing for the good parts and like kind of realizing when it's quote unquote too late, like, I still want this, and I want to.
But that's the thing. At the end, it's like, to me, I think the message of this movie is like true love always wins.
It is.
And that like it doesn't matter if you try to quote unquote erase them, like you still love that person. And they do try to make it work at the end.
Yes.
Another fun fact I learned online is originally the writer had Joel walk away from the relationship.
Oh.
But they're like, no, fuck that. Like, they need to try to work it out.
Yeah, and also, it would be kind of lame if he walked out, because that was kind of his character in general. You find out that he just, like, kind of easily walks out and doesn't really work on things, and he's scared. I thought that was
part of his character development. And hers, too.
Yeah.
Because in the first time they break up, you know, he's trying so hard to get back with her, and she erases him. But then at the end, like, she's the one who's really fighting for him.
Like, she's like, wait, I'll hide here, and I'll do this, and then at the very end, she's like, saying like, why don't we like, let's just make it work.
She comes to his apartment, like she's really like, so I think it also shows that this growth is like subconscious on a level.
I think it's so heartbreaking, but I'm so glad that it ends well, because so many of these types of movies do not end well, and it makes you feel like fucking ass afterwards. So I'm glad that there was some resolve, you know.
And some hope. I did write, if this technology were real, it would cost $11 million.
Yeah.
I think it's funny that it's just like glossed over, like, he's gonna pay for this and they're gonna do it tonight. I was like, yeah, right.
In your dreams.
In your dreams.
Quite literally.
Yeah, when he said to her, constantly talking isn't necessarily communicating, I was like,
that was rough.
I was like, damn.
Dude, a lot of the shit he said was so mean.
I was like, holy shit.
Like, even him, I mean, understandably, he was angry when she like wrecked his car when she was like drunk at the at the beginning, but really the end of their relationship. He's just like, that's fucking pathetic, and I was just like, yikes. Like, just the way that they're talking to each other, and she's just like, you're just so boring. I'm like, whoa, so mean.
Because it's like probably both their own inner fears about themselves being like vocalized by someone who loves you. Like, oh, yikes.
Yeah, and I've been there, and that shit sucks. Not fun.
No, it's rude AF.
No, it sucks.
I was thinking, I bet a lot of people try to call off the memory erasal. Like, I was thinking about it. Like, I feel like most of their patients probably do try to be like, actually, I don't want to do this. But once again, they, for some reason, have not made an escape hatch, which is fucked up.
Which is the loophole that they need for real.
Yeah, and I also thought that besides the fucking his assistant thing, I did like how chill the boss was about like how Mark Ruffalo was like clearly drunk and like inviting all his friends over and calls him in the middle of the night to help him fix this memory erasal, and he's just like, oh, come on.
He's like, what's the address?
And he's just like,
I was trying to think. I immediately recognized him, and I was like, how do I know him? It's because he's from the movie Exorcism of Emily Rose, and he plays the priest who's like in prison.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I never saw that movie, so I didn't
it's
know
really
there was a
good.
priest in prison.
It's scary as fuck, but it's really
it's
good.
a real legal case, right?
I think it was Annalise. It was like the real case that inspired The Exorcist.
And they got the priest for like some kind of manslaughter or murder.
Yeah, they said because I guess like he like tortured her essentially, because like they were claiming that she just had mental health problems, and by him like exercising her and all that stuff, it was like actually like, making, it was deteriorating her mental health, obviously, which it would.
Yeah.
And
it's so hard for the law to find these lines between like respecting people's religious beliefs and also protecting people who might not be about that life.
Right. Because she was about that, like, her family and her, like, when she was in like a quote unquote normal state, not possessed or whatever, she was just like, please help me. Like, she wanted help. So he was doing it, and the family backed him up. But then, like, the state was like, what the fuck are you doing, bro? Like, you killed her. So.
It's messy.
But he's such a good actor. He's
he
amazing
really
in this role, and he's really amazing in the first role I saw him in, which is that, the priest role.
But I could totally see a boss coming like, what the fuck are you doing?
I know.
Like, are you kidding me?
And
like,
she's obviously high as fuck.
Yeah, but he's just like, I'll fix it. Which is what bosses should do. Okay? Don't
Agreed.
make a whole lot of drama.
Yeah, it's like, you're getting paid way more than everybody here,
That's why
so
you're the boss. Just do it.
just be fucking chill. Handle your scandal,
Handle your scandal. Okay, when he wakes up but then can't move. one of my worst fears.
Well, me too.
I hate it. And I think I can trace it back to that movie Awake with hottie Hayden Christensen. Have you seen it?
I watched it with you.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good, but like,
Ooh.
oh, yeah, for those who don't know, the plot is like he's not fully anesthetized for a open heart surgery, so he's like conscious and in pain while they're doing it, but he can't move.
That is such a big fear of mine too.
But he has like all these cool out-of-body experiences, and like I actually think it's an underrated movie, but it's very fear-inducing.
Yeah. I don't know if I'd want to watch it again because it was
Yeah,
like I remember
pretty
watching it being
scary.
like, "Ew," like my
It's pretty
asshole was
bad.
clenched the whole fucking time.
Because they like show them like cutting into his heart for surgery, and he's just like, awake.
Like, can you I
It's
can't even
horrible.
imagine. That's so
It's absolutely
gross.
horrible. So in this
cannot.
movie, even I was like, no.
The only time I ever experienced anything like Joel waking up and not being able to move was what's it called? When you wake up,
Sleep
like sleep paralysis. I did have that one time.
Did you have the weird demon effect?
No, but it felt like someone was sitting on top of me.
Why is that part of it?
I don't know.
Like when people explain, I've been #blessed to have never experienced sleep paralysis, but the fact that it is so often accompanied with people thinking someone is sitting on their chest or that there is someone in the room, specifically a demon, I'm just like, what is that?
Dude, I don't, and it's so many people having the same.
That's what I mean. I'm just like, what is it?
And I don't know what, like, I don't know what brought it on either. It only happened one time.
Thank goodness.
And then it never happened again. Thank the Lord. But it was scary. It was like genuine, because you cannot move. It's like, so you're like telling your brain, okay, let's move. And like, you can't.
Oh,
And it's so
I hate it.
odd. And I think I just fell back asleep. And then when I woke up, I was able to move. I think that's what happened. I barely even remember. But it was like horrifying.
It's just why does our bodies do that?
I don't know. Our bodies are so annoying sometimes.
They really
Like,
are.
chill. I know you're doing everything you can,
Yeah,
honey
but
buns.
do less.
But like, yeah, do less for now. All right, cool.
And then I just have the ending always makes me cry. Like from the moment when he's going through his final erasal and like he's getting the last flash of all their memories, I'm like, oh.
Okay,
And
yes.
then I'm like sobbing when they get back together. I'm like, oh.
I know,
Like,
the-
it's so good.
The part where she's just like, it's their last moments in this house. So basically, what you see,
Such a cool scene, by the way.
so cool.
And they literally built a house on the water so that they could get all those practical effects.
That is so cool.
Amazing.
See, practical effects aren't really used much anymore, but they should.
Do we talk about the budget? I'm curious.
Oh, maybe I didn't bring it up. Okay, it's good. Where are we?
Wasn't a flop.
Oh yeah, so the budget was 20 million and the box office was 74 million.
Only 20 million.
Yeah.
It shows you how much cheaper practical effects are, and they look better. Like,
Yeah, they do. They're way more believable and just better for everybody in general. Gives people jobs, you know what I'm saying? What was I gonna say though?
Oh, how it's very sad, and they're in the house.
Oh
and
yeah. So, you're kind of confused because when you watch the beginning of the movie, you see them quote unquote meet for the first time, but that's not the first time they met. That's actually like the second time, the time that they're like re-meeting. The first time that they met was on the beach in Montauk, I believe. And they were just like at a party and he was like sitting by himself and she came over and sat next to him and he was in a relationship with someone else. And
the
then
unseen Naomi, which, can I share a fun fact about that?
yeah.
So there was actually scenes filmed with this Naomi woman who was played by Ellen Pompeo.
Oh.
And Jim Carrey speculated that the director purposely cast somebody who looked like his ex, Renee Zellweger.
Wow.
The director up and down swears like, no, they don't look alike, and
They're
I
just
didn't
blonde.
do that. Jim Carrey's like, he did it on purpose to mess with me.
Jesus.
I know.
Fucking
Like, that
Jim
does sound a
Carrey.
little unhinged.
I love you so much and I want to fuck the absolute fuck out of you, but like chill.
Like,
Okay.
just take it down a notch.
I'm like telling him to take it down. I really want to fuck the
He's like, I
absolute-
don't know you, okay, lady? First of all,
No, but so that's so. Oh my god.
I know. I was like, oh my.
A little much, Jimmy.
Little
Jimmy John.
sensitivo.
So yeah, he meets Clementine and they become cool. Like they're hanging out all day, and at night they find this like abandoned, gorgeous beach house, like alone by itself, and they run in And she's like, let's pretend it's our house, he. And so she's like going upstairs to try to find clothes and all this shit, and he gets scared and he runs away. So you find out that that's like their original time meeting. What really happened was he ran the fuck away from her. And but in this scenario, it's the memory, and they both know it. So everything is still happening the same way, and then he's about to run away. And then she's like, why did you run away? And they like go, oh, it's so cool the way that they did this. Like, it's brilliant because they're like hashing out what happened. They're like talking about it as it's happening instead of him running away. So he's just like, I don't know. I got scared and you were so, what did he say? He said her saying, then leave then, was so filled with disdain.
Mm-hmm.
And I was
Which
just
probably made him feel shame.
Exactly.
Which of course would make him run away.
Yes. And they also touched, we didn't talk about this, but he touched on his mom, like, never really, like, listening to him. And, like, there was a scene with his mom.
Oh, yeah. And in the scene with his mom, it's so great because she even goes, he doesn't like to be apart from me. So you get this, like, he's codependent as fuck.
Mm-hmm. It's like, you're talking about a 4-year-old dog. Of course he's dependent on you. He's your 4-year-old fucking child. So,
and
yeah.
Then, and she talks about drinking in the afternoon. Just
yeah.
Like, interesting.
Yes.
Might also be why he's, like, so, judgmental of her drinking.
That makes a lot of sense. I love that they touched on those things. But, yeah, so he's just like, you just said it with such disdain, and I just felt like I was so scared, and I wanted to leave. And she's like, I wish you stayed. And he's like, so do I. And it's just beautiful because they're just being so vulnerable and have so much, like, intent talking about how they really feel.
Yeah, and then she goes, what if you stayed this time?
Yeah.
And he does stay, and that's when she whispers, meet me in Montauk. And then he fucking does. Because I do think the message of this movie is true love wins.
It does win.
Which is ultimately a very pro-love message.
It is. That's very true. Even beyond, like, literally erasing your fucking memory, no matter what. If you have that strong of a connection with somebody, it's gonna pop up.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe this when it comes to, like I kind of believe that we reincarnate. And I do, like, there's some people I meet sometimes. It doesn't happen that often, but sometimes I meet somebody and I'm like, I fucking know you. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I feel that way sometimes, and it's weird. Like, so fucking weird.
Yeah, I don't know if I've ever thought of it in terms of, like, I've known you before. I think I just, like, have been aware of, like, really vibing with somebody unexpectedly very quickly. Where you're like, oh, feels like we've known each other for years.
Yeah, that's... And I guess it's kind of the same thing. I do believe that we reincarnate, though. I think that would be kind of cool.
Yeah, you gotta read/watch Cloud Atlas.
I haven't, but we should.
To.
Okay, I will. Okay. But I do, like, in that scenario, it's the same thing where it's like, love will find a fucking way, baby. Life will find a way. Love will find a fucking way. And I do believe, for me, that, like, I've met people that I'm like, I know. I've, like, been connected to you in, like, other lives. Like, it's so weird. It's such a weird feeling. It hasn't happened often. It's maybe happened, like, twice, but it's like, we have such a connection. It's like, there's no other way for me to explain other than our souls, like, knew each other. So odd. But
well, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, that's all my notes. I have trivia questions.
Cool. Sounds good.
Unless you want to say something else before.
No, I adore this movie. I'm so glad that we decided to do this one.
It's beautiful.
It really is so beautiful.
I don't think we mentioned, but it's been on, like, so many top 10 lists of, like, movies, period, movies of the decade, romance movies. Like, everyone loves it.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Okay, we've already talked about this one, but what is the other citrus-based nickname given to Clementine?
Tangerine.
That's right. Number 2. Who tells Joel that Clementine erased him?
Oh, was it, like, his best friend?
Yeah, I just put David Cross.
Yeah, it was David Cross, yeah. Yeah, I'm like, I think they're his best friends, but they don't really say.
Yeah, they kind of an undefined relationship, but they're kind of the reason why he ends up meeting Clementine.
Yeah, and they also have a really shitty relationship.
Yeah, I wasn't sure what the film was trying to say about them.
Maybe that's why he's, like, fearful of, like, being in a bad relationship or something. I have no idea. Because there's no, like, goodness that comes out of, like, they don't have any sweet moments together.
No.
Which is weird.
No, yeah, it says they're just like always fighting.
Yeah.
Number 3. Where does Clementine work?
At basically like a Barnes and Noble situation.
Literally Barnes.
Or is it Barnes and Noble?
Mhm.
Oh,
They got that trademark. Okay. Name one childhood scene into which Joel and Clem escape.
I love the bathtub or the sink tub scene. It's very sweet.
It's very cute. He's like, I love being bathed.
Yeah, and you can like it's so weird because you see him like as a full-bodied adult, but his mom is like fully grown, and it's like it. Yeah. Anyway, it looks very
All
weird.
practical, not CGI.
It's fucking amazing.
Okay, last question. Name one of Clem's signature hair colors.
Oof. Gotta go with the blue.
But what is it called? Because all of her hair colors
shit.
have like special names.
Oh no. I don't know. Wait, she came up with one.
She came up with a few.
Oh, was it Code Orange or something like that?
So close.
What is it?
It was a chemical weapon used in the Vietnam War.
Oh, I'm not up on my... Wait, I know this. Hold on. Don't tell me. No.
Agent Orange.
Dang it! Oh.
Yeah, Agent Orange, Blue Ruin, Green Revolution, and Red Menace. Were the other ones.
Amazing. I do love the red on her.
Yeah.
The red looks really cool.
Especially when she's dressed as that like 70s mom in the kitchen with the cigarette with like her bright ass red hair. And she goes,
yeah.
I love this dress.
Yeah, she's like, who am I?
Yeah,
And
she's like, I want to take it with me.
So cool.
Oh, that was my trivia questions. And I also found which character from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind are you?
Wait.
I must warn you, it's on the same platform as the completely unhinged personality test
Oh, from the last one?
from the last one.
Or was it 2 times ago?
2 times. Master of Disguise.
God, yes. Here we fucking go.
Here we go.
Love
Let's
it.
see.
I
hope
can't
it's
wait.
more normal. It already is. Who would you erase from your mind? Your ex, parents, friend, coworker, other.
Probably coworkers.
Yeah, who cares? About
They don't
that?
really do any... well, not this current job, but in past jobs, they don't do much for me.
Okay. What character do you relate to the most? Joel, Mary, Clementine, Stan, Howard, Patrick. Mary's Kirsten Dunst. Stan is Ruffalo, right?
Ruffalo, yeah.
Howard's the doctor, and Patrick's creepy Elijah Wood.
God.
If anyone chooses Patrick, I'm sus.
Concerned.
Yeah.
I guess Mary, because she's like... She seems like a Cancer to me.
Mary's very cool.
She's very cool, and she's like fucking high as shit, like, you know, half the scenes in her movie, which is very me. So I guess I'll say Mary.
Okay, what's your favorite subject? English, science, math, art, or other?
Art.
Hell yeah. What's your favorite out of the following foods? Chicken of any type, burgers, ice cream, or I don't like any of these.
Ha!
It's like, I like all of these.
I know. Probably. I mean, I'll go with ice cream.
Tons of ice cream. How impulsive are you? Very, somewhat, not really, not at all.
Very.
Man.
Cannot lie. I'm very impulsive.
What's your favorite genre of music? Indie/alternative, classical, rock, pop, other.
Ugh. That's hard. Probably other. I mean, other. I would probably go with more like pop R&B. So
Other it is. Are you an introvert, extrovert, or ambivert?
what's ambivert?
I'm guessing it means both. Like ambidextrous.
I'd say I'm ambivert. Like
Ambivert.
I'm an introverted extrovert, I guess.
When you take those like Myers-Briggs shit, what do you get? Extrovert or introverted?
I haven't taken one recently,
Oh.
but I know Brent and I are the same one, right?
Yeah, ENTJ.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I know I like lean more towards being an extrovert, but in most recent years, like the last like handful of years, I do not get energized by being around people unless they're a very specific type of person like you, but you know, in general, no.
Okay. Out of the following, what's your favorite color? Blue, pink, yellow, or purple?
Blue.
What do you like to do in your free time? Read, paint or draw, write, listen to music, or other?
I love to write. Well, I guess I'll go with write.
Lastly, which character do you think you're gonna get? Very meta. Mary, Clementine, Joel, Patrick, or Howard?
God.
I swear to God, if I get Patrick out of this quiz.
We won't. If I get fucking Patrick, I'm gonna lose my shit. I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I choose Mary, then I'm gonna get Mary,
Maybe
and I don't.
That's part of it.
But I don't want to do that.
Is that if that's what you think?
I only say that because of my original answer, where I was like, I think I'm the most like Mary, but I don't fucking. Let's go with Mary. We'll see.
You got Clementine.
Wait.
It says, congrats, you like broken men and hearts. Or like the
First of all, watch your fucking mouth, quiz.
Damn, this You Quiz place reads people.
That's fucked
I'm
up.
not giving a fuck.
That's fucked up. Okay, here we go. All right. Which character from Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind are you? Entering your name.
It does make you put in a name for some reason.
What would you erase from your mind? Your ex, parents, friend, coworker, other?
I agree, coworker.
Who needs them? No. What character do you relate to the most? Joel, Mary, Clementine, Stan, Howard, or Patrick?
I really like Stan. Stan's my boy.
I like Stan too. He's cool. What's your favorite subject? English, science, math, art, other?
Other, because it's history.
History. I knew that. What's your favorite out of the following foods? Chicken of any type, burgers, ice cream, or I don't like any of these.
I'm going to go with ice cream as well.
Hell yes. How impulsive are you? Very, somewhat, not really, or not at all?
I'd say somewhat.
Good call. What's your favorite genre of music? Indie alternative, classical, rock, pop, or other?
I mostly like weird experimental shit. So I guess indie alternative.
Got it. Are you an introvert, extrovert, or ambivert?
Introvert.
Out of the following, what's your favorite color? Blue, pink, yellow, or purple?
Pink.
Love it. What do you like to do in your free time? Read, paint or draw, write, listen to music, or other?
I mean, I like so many, but I read.
Y'all.
That's when I feel like I'm getting true downtime.
She be reading, y'all. And lastly, what character do you think you're gonna get? Clearly, it doesn't matter what you put, because...
What are the options again?
Oh, sorry. They don't have your boy.
Yeah.
They have Mary, Clementine, Joel, Patrick, or Howard.
I'll put Joel.
Okay, you're Mary.
Oh, what?
Congrats on having daddy issues. Hashtag kind of slayed at the end, though.
That's right. No, yo, that's not all fucking truth, though. Mary really came back.
She fucking killed. And she looks very cool there.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But anyways.
You can just keep it.
Okay, cool. But yeah, anyway, y'all. I guess I'm Clementine and you're Mary.
Wow,
Queen.
a couple of boss-ass bitches.
Honestly, thank you for saving me and showing me my tape.
You're welcome.
Honestly.
Don't worry about it.
Hella slayed.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this was the second episode
Yeah.
of our
Thanks for this installment of this special Valentine's Day installment of Mindfuck February.
Yeah, happy Valentine's Day, you guys. I'm someone that really fucking loves Valentine's Day. If you don't like it, I get it, but also grow up. No.
But also, you're dead to me.
You're dead to me.
I love the little conversation hearts.
I love those too.
Oh my god, love them. Love reading them. Love eating them.
I love the ones because they have different versions, but I like the ones that are more like fruity and easier to
like
chew
the
on.
Soft ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just love them when they come in that little paper box.
Yeah. They're so yum. They're so yum. I'm gonna try to make some truffles this weekend, but we'll see. Anyway.
TBD.
TBD. Well, anyways, we love you guys so much.
Yeah, that's not to be determined. That is determined. We love you.
Yeah, that's like set in fucking stone.
So if you don't think you have a Valentine, think again.
Yeah.
I'm making little hearts with my hands.
You got two.
I'm doing it the old millennial way, though.
Yeah, not the new shit.
I can't.
Also, it doesn't... It just doesn't...
It doesn't flow.
It looks like...
I have to really think about it.
I know, I'm like, huh? The original way, I think... I mean, not to be this guy, but I just think it's better.
It's more accessible.
It's more accessible. It's thicker. We all know that feels better. And
it's a girthier heart, okay?
We like the
what
girthy.
do you want from us? Of course we like it more.
We do. Take that as you will. Happy Valentine's fucking Day, everybody.
Bye.
Love you, bye.